Assalamu alaikum and welcome to this video. I try to practice my Arabic a little bit, but I know that I'm not perfect in speaking Arabic at all. I'm just learning little by little, and yeah. So I thought in this video I am going to try and show some plants and like interior stuff that I've been doing lately. So actually one of the things, I have so many things I could honestly show here that I've been fixing with in terms of interiors, but I just want to share some stuff that I think is kind of nice and unique. So mostly when I've been doing like interior, styling of the house that I'm currently living in, I've been using a lot of like secondhand interiors, and I've been using also some of the stuff that was like from some relatives and stuff that was actually part of another generation. So I just been sort of reusing different things, and also I bought some new stuff like from IKEA. Also I have been saving up some things over time throughout my own life, so it ended up being quite a lot of things. But one of the things I really like is actually plants, like to make the space that you have very like cozy and nice. And also I wanted to sort of have an Arabic Moroccan kind of vibe in the house, which I'm still working on because there's like not so many things in the area where I currently live where there's like Arabic stuff on Moroccan types of details and so forth. So I have to invent them myself basically, or like collect over time. So behind me here, I'm gonna try and show this one. This is actually, I think it's called, let's see if it has any details. I think it's, let's see if I can get this one off here. Oh dear. No. Okay, it's not really going to come off. But this is a very nice type of plant. I honestly don't know the name of it, but I got this one in a supermarket, and I using this type of wooden kind of box, and then I have like bought a second-hand type of pot that I'm keeping the plant in. This plant I think is gonna grow, so it's gonna be like really tall after a while. And then I'm also being a little bit, sort of storage for some color pots. So I have one color pot in this one, and then I have some second-hand or some form of stuff that the whole thing is standing on. And then behind me, this painting, actually, this is a painting. I got this one second-hand, and it was very inexpensive, and it actually is sort of reminding me of something in Middle East, because this looks like some palm trees, and then you have like two people which look like women who are doing something, and it looks like they're wearing a hijab. So for some reason I just really like this this painting. And then another thing that I've been doing in this house is that I actually colored all of the cabinets in the kitchen. So behind me here is like a cabinet for cleaning, and the color that I choose is very like woody, but for me it sort of reminded of olive tree colors. What am I trying to say? Olive tree colors, the leaves. So that was something I wanted to get into the kitchen, because I always wanted to have like olive tree color stuff, in the kitchen. One thing that is actually, if I can flip around the camera, this is actually something that I have sort of recycled from the house, and it's like a chair, but it really is an interesting interior piece. And then here, this one is from IKEA, and it's a very inexpensive type of rug, but it actually works really well to keep it as just on top of this chair. And whenever I get some idea for what I possibly could use that rug, I'm going to, you know, go ahead and sort of use it. But I wanted to show something that I actually was painting myself, and I know that this is not going to be, I know, by the way, this one is a Turkish like eye, and I really like it because it has been like at my family's house for a very long time, and I actually got this one, so I'm just like, I'm keeping it here. And here, this one I actually made. This is like just some art, and it has this sort of geometrical type of print. And then if I go in closer here and zooming in, it has these types of Moroccan kinds of patterns. So I'm really happy with this wall. And then over here, this is like some old form of baking equipment that you could use to take out bread from an oven. So that one I actually have been like removing the surface of the entire thing and sort of just put on some wood oil. That was a whole process. And now let me take you to another corner here. So okay, this one is actually quite interesting. This one is like a what is it called, like a, I don't even know what it's called, but actually it is possible to open it, so it's like a storage. And what I did with this one is that I have had this one for a very long time. I got it when I was a kid, but I painted it white because it was in a wooden color. Then I also added these, as you can see, this type of print with some stencil. So this is actually the Prophet Sandal print, and this color was actually suggested. I asked one of my friends who is in Dubai, and asked her for what color I should choose for some of the furniture that I was painting, and she was like saying it would look very nice with turquoise color. So this color I chose based on her advice. Then I also have some like pinkish, old pinkish color here. I don't know if the colors actually are like perfectly matching or whatever, but it's just something different and something unique, you know. And also on top of this one, I'm gonna see if I can flip the camera here. So here I have also done the same stencil, but I did only the half sandal stencil print. So this one, if you are like into, you know, Islamic stuff, you will know about this print because this one is very common. And also this is another type of print. I was sort of inspired by, there's some something called inlay bone type of woodwork that they have in India. Now I wouldn't use like bones as I inlay into wood, but you can actually sort of copy that form of style by using, you know, color and just a stencil. And then right here, these are just some cilantro plants, and I got them from someone. And then these, this one is actually like a lantern, so I actually painted this one kind of light pink. I think you saw behind me. Okay, I'm gonna try. Okay. I think you saw behind me I have something right here. This is like, and by the way, here I just have some of the colors and stuff that I'm using, because when I've been doing some of the work here with interiors and stuff, I've been using a lot of different colors. So for the pink color that I've been using, it looks like this. It's called Art Vintage Dusty Rose, and it's a chalk paint with a matte finish. And then the turquoise color that I'm using is also from Art Vintage, and it is called Light Turquoises, and it's also sharp paint with matte finish. Now this one I found out in a barn. It's kind of interesting piece. So it is, I don't know what it has been used for, but it's like something. And what I did have for sort of idea is to keep flowers in it, and also I actually have a whole wooden type of thing in it with some lights, and when it's like dark or like evening, it actually looks really nice because you have it as a tree with lights, and it looks very fairy tale and whimsical. And then these plants are like the what is it called, monstera plants, I think, and they have very large leaves. That plant I actually got from IKEA, and it came in a very small pot with so much leaves. So what I had to do was like to take apart that specific plant and like replant it into like multiply like pots, and it ended up being like I think 5 or 6 different pots with this plant. So now I just have 2 of these pots in this specific place, but I have an idea of like getting some palm tree eventually and keeping in this one just to have as a form of, you know, something extra. Then I got this plant. I don't know if it's gonna show really well. Now this is like an old form of just you know, what is it called, conserve, like what you would have beans or something like that in. This plant, I don't know what it's called either. It's really dry now because it has been in the window, and it gets really hot in the daytime. But this plant is so green, and the leaves are like really kind of large, and it has really nice sort of steam as well. So this plant I'm super happy that I found, because it's really in the window, it's like covering a lot of the sort of the space. And then when I was visiting my university in Göteborg, I actually was visiting one interior shop that have like so much like just kind of inexpensive interior designing types of things. So what I actually got from there was 2 of these Buddha statues, and this one is in some ceramic kind of material. I don't know what it is actually, but it is in a green color, and I really enjoy having some Buddha statues around just because they look very peaceful and sort of is giving some nice interior vibe. And this one I keep in the window in the kitchen, so I will put it back after this. I also, another plant that I really like is actually some herbs. So I do have this one, which has just grown out of control, to be fairly honest. I don't know what's going on with it. I think I need to cut it. Because I'm gonna show you. It looks like this. When I got this plant, it was not so big. It was like super tiny. This is mint. So it's like, and it is actually Moroccan mint. So this is perfect to make Moroccan tea with, and it smells exactly like Moroccan mint tea, which they don't sell in the shops where I live. But I have this plant, so what I think I'm actually gonna do today is that I'm going to cut off some of these stems with some of the leaves and make like a bundle and hang it up in somewhere and just let it dry, so I will have, you know, Moroccan tea whenever I want to. But yeah, I don't know what happened. I think I could put it in a larger pot and like replant it, because this one is just growing out of control. Oops. Another thing, like another plant that I have that I really like is actually aloe vera. So I went on to IKEA And the IKEA had these forms of pots with aloe vera. That was like it. I don't know how many types of, you know, like steams it was in one pot, but it was so many. So I did the same thing. I was like taking apart one plant and repotted it into multiplies. So I have one of those in a plastic box like this, and this is just something I found in the woods. It's like some, I don't know what it's called actually, but it grows on trees. And this one doesn't look so happy because it have like reddish types of, you know, steams. I don't know if it's too much sun for this one or if I have put too much water. I know that the pot is not optimal because the water gets stuck in the bottom without actually getting out, and I should repot this one. But it's a very nice aloe vera because it has this shape that is very asymmetrical, and you know, it looks like a lotus flower but aloe vera, and it looks very desert, and I really like succulents. Then as I said, I've been doing some, like, what is it called, like secondhand shopping. So something I was lucky to find when I was doing my secondhand shopping, and I tend to go actually like every now and then, just to see if I find something unique and something very inexpensive. So one of the things I did find, I actually got two, but one is in pink color. So I was lucky to find one of these lotus flower candle holder, and this one was so inexpensive. Honestly, it was like almost like nothing, less than if I should convert it into dirhams, it would be almost zero. So, but this one has, it's kind of, the other one that I have is in a light pink color, and the leaves are more like, you know, hanging down, versus this one is more like sharp in one way and more up pointed. But I think it's a little bit broken, this one, because I can see that one of the leaves are not really as it should be stuck to the frame. But however, it looks really nice, and the color was just absolutely gorgeous, and also it has this golden like bottom here. So this one was a secondhand, something I got secondhand, and I'm super happy about it. So yeah, also something I want to advise you about. If you have the idea of using glue and you're like, okay, what type of glue should I use? I actually would suggest using this glue that you have for like wallpapers, if it is water-based, you know, that you are looking for, because to buy like a small tube of glue is very like expensive, versus buying like wallpaper glue, it's very inexpensive, I found out on my own way. I also been using a lot of golden color to paint frames, and I have some other frames on the wall that I'm really enjoying. And another thing I want to just share, for like if you want to do some DIY projects, I have actually tried out using ceramic and the glass color. This one is very like, the color is very thick, it really covers up the whole glass that I was painting, and this one is in a very hot pink color, and I was aiming at doing some Moroccan types of lantern remaking and like to try and you know, make some lanterns from IKEA that I had to look more Moroccan, and that's why I got this hot pink, because I thought that it's very like vibrant color, and it's basically, it's called pink. And yeah, so that is a very fun project to actually make if you want to make some you know, DIY projects at home, to try and paint glass and make Moroccan lanterns. So okay, another thing that I actually been doing, and I think I'm gonna try, see if I can do like this. Yeah, so let's move over here. Um, this fabric is also secondhand, and I made it into what is it called? Oh my goodness, I cannot remember. But you see what I'm doing with it, like what I'm using it for. Another thing I actually have constructed along with some help is this door. And this behind here is a IKEA shelf system, and it was super inexpensive. If you would buy it in dirhams, it would be like around, I would say, 60 dirhams, so it's not expensive at all. And what I did here is that I used this material, and I don't know what it's called exactly in English, and I painted the frame white, and then I found this lace, plastic lace print, and I was using it as a stencil, and I'm gonna see if I can zoom in a little bit, and it actually made this print on the bottom part of this door. This one still need to go up on the shelf and be like a full door, and I'm gonna put like a knob on the door as well, but it still has to be done. But I'm actually quite happy with how it turned out concerning the process, and I still have some, you know, lists and stuff to go on the floor, but that's another project. So yeah, and the color that I chose for this is actually the same olive green type of color that I was using for the cabinets behind me. So yeah,